to call the meeting to order. This is our regular school board meeting, February 10th, 2025. Roll call, all members are here. And can we have a moment of silence, please? Everyone rise to the pledge of allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We are up to the approval or changes to the agenda. Is there a motion to accept Is there a motion to accept the agenda?
I move that we accept the agenda as presented.
Is there a second? All right, any discussion? All those in favor of approving the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The agenda has passed. We are up to presentations, recognitions. Mrs. Hoover will do the recognition for the School Board Appreciation Month.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Dr. Brads, members of the board. I am here tonight to talk about School Board Appreciation Month. The month of February marks the annual observance of School Board Appreciation Month, which is a time for us to salute the work of school board members like you and celebrate public education. The theme of this year's celebration is Champions of Opportunity, Advocates for Excellence. It highlights the efforts made by our school board members to create pathways for student achievement and innovation. And in Culpeper County, we are so pleased to have a wonderful board like you that supports so many amazing things that are going on in our schools. And we had a recent press release that described a lot of those things, and we thank you for all of that. School boards preserve the core of our democracy, public education, and too often we neglect to recognize the dedication and hard work of our board members. So tonight, we would like to thank you, and we'd also like to invite the entire community to join us in recognizing and celebrating the work that you do each and every day as our school board. And we have some lovely certificates for you.
Ms. Baker, before you go down, how about a round of applause for our board? Thank you.
Thank you.
Wait a minute, you didn't clap for yourself. You can do that. No, we appreciate you. Thank you.
The next recognition is School Board Clerk Appreciation Week. Ms. Hoover and Ms. Baker will be representing us.
All right, in addition to School Board Appreciation Month, the week of February 17th through 21st, 2025 is designated as School Board Clerk Appreciation Week. The goal of this event is to build awareness of the role of board clerks that they play in assisting our board members, superintendents, and our local schools. The school board clerks are responsible for keeping accurate records of the meetings and proceedings of the school board, a record of all receipts and disbursements, and a record of all official acts. And school board clerks provide an invaluable service for school board members and superintendents. So tonight, we recognize our deputy clerk, Sarah Moran, and our clerk, Neil Dean, for all that they do.
you.
Thank you very much. We are to the presentation on Emerald Hill Elementary School, coming from the principal, Dr. Gilbert. You could play and I could take your winnings.
I won't win. I can't spell, read, or any of that stuff.
Madam Chair, members of the board, Dr. Brads, thank you for having us here today. As you can see, our theme this year was Game On, Achieving Greatness Together. And so this whole year, our theme has been games and fun and playing, so we wanted to bring that fun to you guys. So you have a bingo board with some key words. If you hear us say the key words, you'll put your token on the board, and the first person to get 5 in a row, up or down, diagonal, sideways, will win a prize. We brought extra prizes just in case more than one of you gets bingo at the same time. Yes, ma'am, questions?
Just one question, do we have a free space?
There is a free space in the middle. And as Mrs. Pearson asked, please do not eat your tokens before the game is over. Good question. So we wanted to show some new things that are happening at Emerald Hill. The first thing is our display cases. Mrs. Lane actually came up with the idea. We wanted to redo them, refresh them, and she was like, I wonder if we could get lights in there. And I was like, I can put the request in, but that's going to be a no. And they did it. So we would like to thank our maintenance team for being so amazing and putting lights in our display cases. We also have some new clubs that we wanted to share with you guys. We have our Interior Design Club, which is a group of students, and they got to design an area of our school. So you can see that was last year's group. They painted the mural themselves. They had to come to me and present all the things that they wanted to do in that space and get it approved before they did it. And so that was our Interior Design Club. We also have 2 additional new clubs. One is the Goodness Gnome. Hopefully you guys got holiday cards from them. They spread kindness and goodness, and they did a lot of good acts. Then our Life Skills Club was learning a lot of fun skills. They learned how to wrap presents. They learned how to set a table. So those were some exciting new clubs at Emerald Hill. One thing that we are really big and passionate on is our staff. So we want them to know how much we love and we care for them, and so we wanted to show you some of the fun things that we've done for our staff this year. We started the year, again, we were game on, so we went to Throwbacks here in Culpeper. They opened it up just for us during the day, and our team got to come play games, and it was a lot of fun. They had things for every person. It was so fun to see some of our staff say, I remember playing these when I was a kid, and it was a lot of fun. We also like to start the year, the beginning of the year is very stressful for teachers and staff, and so every year we provide a meal to go for them. A meal on us, you take it home, and so this year we did nachos, and we also gave them the game board so they could take the games home and play with their families. We did National Bowling Day. We turned our stage into a bowling alley, and the staff got to come up during their planning and bowl. I was very surprised. I think Mrs. Galden won, if you know Mrs. Galden. She's almost at 50 years. She won, and she said as a kid she would always go bowling, so that was a fun experience. For Halloween, we did ice cream floats. It was a very warm Halloween, so it was fun to do ice cream floats and go around. We also had our holiday gathering, which was a lot of fun. No bingo yet. Oh, I don't think I've used the word yet. This is our amazing staff, a picture of our amazing staff. We do wrapping day every year, and I absolutely love this day. We have a huge team that comes, and some people find wrapping stressful and just another thing that they have to do. So staff we wrap hundreds of gifts on this day for our staff. They come in with wagons, they bring stuff days in at a time. So that's something that we enjoy doing, and so it's nice to give back and do for others. Recently, at the end of January, we had a Have Fun at Work Day. We did human slots, so that was a lot of fun. They would push a button, and we, as the human slots, would move our hands, and then when the timer stopped, we held it up, and that was a lot of fun for our staff. In addition, we also have some fun family events that we've had this year. We had our open house, which we love. We do it in our gym, and we actually invite a lot of community members in too if they have businesses that support our schools, and so the families go around. It's kind of like a BIE for our families, and then they get to see the teams, and all the teams have, this year they all did games for Game On, so it was really fun. We also had our trunk or treat. As you can see, Mrs. Lane and I in bananas. So, oh, bingo! Yay! We said we weren't going to verify. We thought that would be a little stressful. But good job. Now you can eat your tokens then if you would like. Okay. But so every single one of our families that came to Trunk or Treat got a Bananagrams game, and we have heard from a lot of families that, especially the younger kids, love, and they point out the tiles and the alphabet, and the families really still report that they play with them all the time, so that was fun. We did a Veterans Day event. We had our choir sing, and we had breakfast for veterans. We also did a literacy night. Part of the VLA, we had to do a family night for literacy for our families. And so you can see our reading specialist giving a presentation, and then the kids got to go around and have popcorn and go and hear books be read. We also have some amazing partnerships. As you guys know, Culpeper is amazing and very, very generous to our schools. So we definitely wanted to give a shout out to some of our partnerships that have been very generous to us. Up on that board, you'll have people that have donated things for our family events, businesses that have donated things for our Veterans Day event. Our breakfast was completely paid for by a business. And then almost all of our gifts that we gave teachers for for our Have Fun at Work Day, I hope I didn't push a button. Okay. Most of those were donated by community businesses. Another partnership that we have that we're very thankful for, Dr. Soderholm, is our partnership with Culpeper County High School. We went out and we do a tailgate every year. That's one of our feeder high school. So our kids get to go. We run on the field every year. We give out sports-related books to the kids that come. They get a free candy from the concession stand. And then there's also some pictures. They have their football team come and open car doors. So we just wanted to give a shout out to them and that amazing partnership. And then also for our open house, Glory Days paid for our entire dinner for our staff. They donated all of it, and then Cups and Sips also donated a lot of drinks and things like that for our staff, so we wanted to give a shout out to them too. And then partnerships, we always do the parade every year. We absolutely love it, going with our Game On theme. We did Mario this year, and that was a lot of fun, and it's really fun to see the kids and hand out goodies and gifts. Another thing that our partnerships do is our families, our Emerald Hill families and businesses sponsor the Woot Woot Cart. So once a month, we have a business or a family come and they give snacks and treats to all of our staff. So they go around in their cart and they can hand out different items. Then we wanted to end the presentation with pictures of students. We all love seeing pictures of students happy and loving learning, and so we just wanted to share some of our field trip pictures, some of our different events that we've done, the 100th day of school, Election Day, preschool did not on Election Day because we're not open then, but the day before, the day after, the day before they did an election, and they were voting. And then here's some other pictures of PBL projects, the spelling bee participants. And I think we are ending with a video that our staff put together.
More bingos. We love working with our families in the Emerald Hill community. We also appreciate our supportive admin and the support staff that we work with daily.
Reasons we love Emerald Hill.
Learning every day. Outstanding families.
Very engaged students.
exemplary admin and staff.
We love Emerald Hill because our school is
Positive.
Caring.
supportive, loving, and kind.
One thing that we love about Emerald Hill is we always feel so supported by faculty and staff.
Emerald Hill is like one big family.
I love the positive environment at this school.
It's fun to work here. Our staff creates all kinds of neat activities that make every day fun.
And we love the support from parents, administrators, and the community.
Donut Friday!
We love Emerald Hill's creativity,
Family,
Staff bonding.
And generosity.
I like working at Emerald Hill because it's tradition.
My coworkers.
The kids.
The curiosity of the students.
The kids' creativity.
My team.
Aww.
That was all that we had, but as you can see, we definitely love our staff and our students, and we are glad that they love it as well. I will say, so we do donuts every other Friday, so that is the Donut Fridays. Do you guys have any questions? No, you can keep them. All right.
All right, is there
you.
any comments? Ms. Desolé?
Thank you so much. I'm very blessed to have Emerald Hill in my district, and, you know, there's never anything except positive feedback from any constituents that I run into about the positive atmosphere and just how wonderful the staff are, just everything about Emerald Hill. Thank you. You do a great job.
Anyone else? Ms. Hutchins?
Thank you for the engaging presentation.
You're welcome.
Okay.
So what I notice is morale starts at the top, comes down, and it wears over onto the kids. So, good job.
Thank you.
Others, anybody?
Yes, every time I'm there, it's really rewarding to see the students engaged, and it's a family atmosphere, and the way you all are reaching out and having the community come back and support you too. So thank you for doing that.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, do we have any requests to speak? Did anybody sign up? Is there anyone that wishes to speak? All right, hearing none, we will close the delegations speaking and move to the consent agenda, which is approval of the minutes from the 13th and the 27th, and the payroll. Is there a motion to approve both of those items? Ms. Smith?
So moved.
Second?
I second that we approve the minutes from January 13 and 27 and pay the bills.
All right, is there any discussion? All right, hearing none, we will vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 7-0, please. We are up to superintendent staff reports, and Dr. Brads will give us an update on our budget.
Thank you, Ms. Brown, Madam Chairman, members of the board. I'd like to do just an update of the status of our work on FY26, and we can call this budget bingo if you wish. Okay, maybe not, and not nearly as fun. Ms. Moran, could you put the attachment on the screen, please? It's in board docs proper. If you can toggle out of the meeting into board docs.
No, she ended up. But it wasn't in. Yeah, we've got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a lot of work. It's not coming up though for her. Here we go. Yay. Just zoom in on it and leave it.
That'll work. We're in the ballpark. Apologize for the technical difficulty. Blame it on me for where I loaded it in board docs probably incorrectly. So I assume that full responsibility. But there were just too many words here for me just to go on about FY26 in presentation. So I wanted to show this quick listing of items. So where do we stand right now? After our first work session, our first blush was building the budget based on the calc tool from the governor's amended budget. That was revised in January, on January 19th from the December 18th numbers. No significant change for FY26 from the governor's version, and that change or tweak that happened in middle of January. So showing that. So we're estimating, as we did with the work session in January, of a $2.2 million increase over FY25. Significant in that increase is year 2 of a compensation supplement of 3% for SOQ instructional and support positions. So hold that thought. So the next part of the information there, item B, is just briefly going through what's happening this time of year with the General Assembly. We've been past Budget Sunday. Crossover Day is behind us. Next significant thing, and all the bills have returned back to their original houses for any tweaks that may have happened in the opposite house or Senate. The last day for budget bills to be reviewed is just around the corner, February 12th. Committee action, I'm not going to read all those things, but it's a short session that ends February 22nd. And so we're hopeful that the presentation of the budget document, or the budget proposals, will be given to the governor without too much delay. The reconvene session is there on the 2nd of April if that's needed. Of significance this time of year, it's often not until later in February that we learn where we might stand, but right now we have a sense of where we stand with both the House and the Senate, and that's reflected on the sheet. The big difference between the governor's proposed amendments to the budget and the House and the Senate are 3 main items. That would be eliminating the support staff cap that has a large price tag statewide, and we would be the beneficiaries of that additional revenue should that happen. There is a special education add-on in support of special education programming across the Commonwealth. We would be the beneficiary of that increase as well. And there is a $1,000 bonus, and that's not in our budget right now, folks. I want to be clear about it, but that is what is proposed in excuse me, the Senate version and the House version of the budget. That may not survive, and the main differences between the House and the Senate is where that is to take place. Interestingly, in an FY26 budget, one House proposes that is paid in June of 25. folks. That's fiscal '25, and the other proposal is to pay it in September of 25, which is FY '26, where it should belong. So that's interesting, and that's the main difference of those with respect to the governor's proposed budget. So, but I will say, again, not in stone, but the differences, as you see, item 3, 1, 2, and AA, not adjusted for local ADM because we do not have a calc tool. We do have distribution sheets from both the Finance Committee from the Senate and Appropriation from the House to have an idea of where we may be. And that would be the House showing that $3.3 million over the governor's proposal, and the Senate has us at $2.4 million over the governor's proposal. So that will be perhaps by our February work session that we will have a calc tool to be able to drill that down and see exactly what those numbers are. And as you know, then we decide, okay, is it going to be the governor's budget that comes out and is approved by the governor, the General Assembly, some of those, that trade-off that happens within the General Assembly session in terms of the budget. So we'll be paying attention to that. So as normal, there are differences between governor, House, and Senate. And this is our first blush, not in stone, of what those differences may look like. Remember, we ended our work session in January with a deficit, a significant deficit. This would certainly help us with that deficit of where we are in terms of being short on our budget. The budget shortfall at this time is approximately $2.7 million as it stands right now. So that's where we stand with the state. So I look at it as good news because even if neither of those propositions comes to fruition, it is very likely that some compromise will occur that the number 2, the school division for K-12 funding will be greater than what the governor is planning. So that's initially planned. So I feel pretty positive about that. But again, we don't know. Local budget factors, very, very important. Have that on the list. This was discussed at the Board of Supervisors meeting last week, and so that's public information from them at their first work session. This is a reassessment year for the county, and also that means it's a tax rate equalization year. The increase of value on real estate is looking at about 12%. The equalization rate, therefore, would be equalized down to 42%, which would be 34 cents on the general fund and 8 cents on the fire and rescue levy. That's not in stone either. The county has to decide what they're going to do with their tax rate, equalization or not. That is significant in terms of that valuation, reevaluation rather, as that it places the value of a penny or 1 cent on a tax rate at $932,000 and change, as opposed to last year, FY '25, that was $824,000. You can see a significant increase on the value of a penny on the tax rate because of the increase in the value of property. Okay, but it is the county policy and code to look at equalization and state what the equalization numbers are. So stay tuned on that as well, and we appreciate our partnership with the county on that. Also, local factor, school capital projects, as you know, moving forward with, we appreciate moving forward with our CMS renovation, modernization, addition project, and also with our elementary school number 7. And that is moving forward with both the supervisors approving the funding resolution and then following up with approving borrowing the funds to do that, authorizing the debt service on that. So that's exciting news to be moving forward. However, that has a cost to it in terms of an interest payment up front in the first year in FY '26, and then a full payment in FY '27. So that is something that certainly the county has to process in their support of the school division. Last but not least, as typical, and we know this is our starting point, the county starts with the notion of level funding in terms of our ask of them as they go through their planning. We're the biggest chunk of a department that they have to deal with, quite frankly. But we're last in the queue to bring that information forward because we don't know until we know or what we think we know from the state. So we come to the table nearly last in terms of some of those county obligations. So therefore, they start their concept with level funding, and that would show that for FY '25, the county gave us $35+ million. So that's that's hopefully the starting point that we can go up from there. Last but not least, as a reminder, our budget work session is on the Monday, February 24th. And I would say from this information, I would say our finance team, myself, we're optimistic about some of the options out there to help us cut into what we are looking at in terms of what we initially presented as a budget and the shortfall that it contains right now. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Any board members have questions or comments for Dr. Brads? Hearing none, we will move on to the instruction report. Mrs. Cockrell will present high-quality work-based learning, or the newest acronym, HQWBL. I will fail an acronym test, always.
All right. Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, and Dr. Brads. My name is Ainsley Cockrell, and I have the honor of serving as Culpeper's first work-based learning coordinator. And I would like to begin my presentation by expressing my gratitude for giving me the opportunity to share with you the exciting progress and initiatives I've been working on to enhance Culpeper County's high-quality work-based learning opportunities. First, I'd like to recognize that February is CTE month. I often say that Culpeper CTE programs are truly unique, and this is a direct result of the incredible support we receive from so many dedicated individuals. So in the month of February, I ask that we take a moment to celebrate and thank all the individuals who make CCPS CTE thrive, both within and beyond the classroom. As we have shared before, in Culpeper County, we firmly believe that every student deserves the opportunity to explore their pathway, whether it leads them to enrolled, enlisted, or employed. Our high-quality work-based learning programs provide students with hands-on experience in real-world careers, allowing them to make more informed decisions about their future. In my first hours in my new role, I jotted down some goals that I had for myself and the work-based learning opportunities that we have here in Culpeper County. The first goal is to leverage existing experiences to drive growth, in addition to evaluate the quality of work-based learning programs that we already have in existence, to raise awareness among businesses about where our experiences actually are, and then monitor and stay updated on the changes that the Virginia Department of Education has. On the next few slides, you'll see how I'm achieving these goals and working towards exceeding them. Our experiences continue to grow at a rapid pace. We offer additional job shadowing experiences to our students, new mentorship opportunities, which is now one of the many program highlights of our firefighting program, as well as many of our other programs. Our school-based enterprises continue to grow, and one of the few examples is that automotive is now a recognized school-based enterprise. Service learning has become one of our most common experiences at the secondary level, teaching students how to be valuable members of the community. One of the many areas that grew this year is our ESL externship. In 2023-2024 school year, the externship began and allowed qualified students to meet their graduation requirement through a paid week-long experience. This year, with the help of Career Partners, Inc., we were able to expand from 1 week to 2 weeks, taking us from 10 students to 20 students, 5 businesses to 7 businesses, and $4,000 earned to our students, earned by our students to $8,000 earned. The Educators in the Workforce pilot program launched in August of 2024, aimed to reconnect educators with businesses and industry professionals, recognizing that many educators may be removed from the industry. We designed a professional development day featuring job shadowing, hands-on experience, and meaningful conversations with professionals, with the goal to provide educators with firsthand insight and helping them better prepare students for success in dynamic industries. This year, we have seen an immense value in bringing businesses into our classroom. Partnerships with organizations like UVA Health, Dyna Electric, and local fire departments have allowed students to connect directly with industry professionals. For example, VDOT engaged our automotive students in the classroom and invited them to tour their facility, while REC invited one of our students and gave them the chance to experience the role of women in power, including climbing a pole. Dominion Energy also worked with our JRTC program, helping to set poles for state competitions. These opportunities give students invaluable industry exposure and insight to what they have here locally. The marketer in me is most excited about the rebranding of our already outstanding events, the Skills Showcase, Student Job Fair, and CTE Signing Day. Together, we've reimagined this series under the name of CCPS Workforce Connections, creating a more cohesive and impactful experience. This rebranding ensures that businesses and stakeholders can easily see how the event aligns with their goals and objectives. Through a thoughtful, a la carte approach, businesses now have the understanding that they have the flexibility to select the events that best fit their needs, whether they choose to participate in one, some, or all of them. I've provided them with clear insight into each event, emphasizing that even if they're not currently hiring, their participation is still valuable. These events offer networking opportunities, brand exposures, and ways to engage with the next generation of workers. Additionally, I've been providing resume writing workshops to give even more personalized support for our students in preparation for these events. I'm actively pushing into CTEC classrooms to work one-on-one with students and have 2 full days dedicated for our CCHS, Phoenix, and EVHS students, offering individualized resume updates that cater to their specific career goals. Rebranding these events with new logos, swag, and visuals has been a key strategy to raise awareness and create a clear, cohesive identity for each of them. The new branding not only brings a fresh energy, but also enhances the overall experience, making the events feel more professional and memorable. For example, you guys had a bag mixed in with all your other gifts that was labeled CTE Signing Day. You'll notice a branded cup. This cup, along with the bag, serves as a celebration piece for each student who signs on CTE Signing Day, marking their accomplishments in a meaningful way. Additionally, there's a CCPS Workforce Connections pen, which students will use to sign their intent forms, a small but symbolic gesture linking them from CCPS to their future careers. You'll also see a save the dates included, and I hope you'll add these important dates to your calendar and plan to attend. These events are opportunity to celebrate our students and their growth, and your participation helps us strengthen the connection between our schools and our community. Our advisory council has always played a crucial role in guiding the vision of CTE. But this spring, we are taking that vision a step further by expanding it to include high-quality work-based learning. This expansion will provide our board with the invaluable opportunity to hear directly from students and principals, helping us develop new high-quality work-based learning opportunities and ideas that will benefit both our students and our community. We have carefully assembled a well-rounded board, bringing together key players from a diverse range of expertise. One of my primary goals is to raise awareness that CTE expands beyond just CTEC. One way we will achieve this is we will rotate our meeting locations, allowing the board to visit different schools and hear firsthand about the incredible things happening in the CTE programs across the county. This approach will give the board a more comprehensive understanding of where CTE is happening and how each school has a unique but cohesive offering. Staying up to date with the Virginia Department of Education is a key goal to ensure we remain compliant and aligned with the state requirements. To accomplish this, I've been an active member of VACTIA, participated in webinars, engaged in discussions about upcoming changes, and met with the VDOE experts and local work-based learning coordinators. These engagements have been incredibly valuable, and I'm proud to share that with you that Culpeper is leading the way, something I think you all probably knew. We are on the right path, blazing new trails and making a significant impact in our field. Beyond staying current with the VDOE updates, I've also expanded my local professional network, which helps me stay informed about industry trends and standards, This network ensures that we continue to adapt and evolve, staying ahead of the curve and equipping our students with the most relevant skills for the workforce. Our commitment to professional growth and networking is a crucial piece of our ongoing success. So in those first few hours on the job, I wrote down the goals that I had for myself, for our programs, for my role, and for the opportunities ahead. As I look toward the future, I believe these goals can continue to guide me through my commitment to this role and to CCPS. For our long-term vision, we will continue pushing our growth, evaluating and improving our programs, and advocating for more opportunities across both high schools, middle schools, and elementary schools, and of course, CTEC. Adding to my current goals, I plan to increase opportunities at the middle and elementary school levels. While these may not take place, it may not take in the form of a hands-on work experience, exposure is incredibly valuable. Whether it be a nurse in scrubs reading to a kindergarten class a book about nursing, or partnering with our middle schools and businesses for exposure, the earlier we can expose our students to the various career pathways, the better equipped they will be to align their course selections for their future goals. While we are still in our first calendar year of this new position, I can't wait to continue to grow and share with you in the future. Thank you so much, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
All right, board members, any questions, comments? Ms. Burnett?
Yes, I just wanted to thank you, Ms. Cockerill. This was an amazing presentation, and it seems like you're the person to go to if we have any questions, right?
Yes.
Yes. If any students have questions, parents, or anyone. This is just amazing. I'm overwhelmed with all of the research and updates and everything that you have to keep up with, but very proud of what you're doing over there. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Anyone else? Ms. Smith?
Yeah, I would imagine keeping up with VDOE is probably the hardest part of that job.
Yeah.
Because it's always changing. But I just want to say thank you for your commitment.
Thank you.
And it's evident, and it's your support for our students is appreciated.
Thank you.
Ms. Pearson?
Excellent presentation, Ms. Cockrell. The synergistic effect that you have with the kids and CTEC has with the students and the community and the employers and throughout the different counties is just amazing. And it really radiates out and is obvious to everyone that comes out. And also down at the elementary schools, I know when the fifth graders come through, they're so excited to see the things that are available to them, which if we didn't have CTEC, might not be available to them. So I want to say thank you to you and the entire staff. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Ms. Desolé?
Thank you so much for coming and sharing all this. I really appreciate that you kind of pieced it all together, and even to the point of why you gave certain things in the swag bags to make it not just, oh, we're just giving them stuff. So that's great. And I have to say, I wish so much that my construction business was in Culpeper County, because they are so tired of me saying, well, in Culpeper, we do this, and they're like, yeah, whatever, so, but great job. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful presentation. I really like moving the advisory council around from location to location, because I think we showcase CTEC, we love CTEC, but we tend to forget that our schools also have programming in them, and sometimes people think all we have is CTEC, and there's so much more to the program than that. The question, could you expand a little bit on your resume workshops and how you're doing those?
Yes, so at CTEC right now, I've scheduled a day with each classroom, and during that time, I spend the whole day in there with them while the students are there. I sit one-on-one with each student like I did when I was an EPF teacher, and I spend that time kind of asking them, is there anything that you're forgetting? Any certifications that maybe you got in the last year since your junior year? We kind of update, we go through, we change their goal, we talk about what they want to do and change their objective to align with that. And then I have set 2 days, which if more time is necessary, when I send out the link to the students to show their job fair interest, they can indicate in there that they need help with their resume. From there, I'll set up a schedule. Both Dr. Brock and Dr. Soderholm have been so gracious to give me a space in March where I can come over and sit with the students and set up a time. They'll come in and they'll have that individualized attention, the same that the students at CTEC got. And then this year, one of the things that I really want to focus on is our Phoenix students, and giving them that opportunity of that individual time, but also making sure that they are aware of the events that are happening, making sure that they're a part of it. Not just with the workforce connection, but also they're joining in a reality store this year, and they were able to participate in mock interviews at the base schools.
Thank you.
Baker?
Thank you very much for your presentation and for your time and your effort. And you always put our children first. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
I would like to say that I reiterate with Ms. Hutchins on the public understanding that CTEC is not just the building that exists. CTEC began in our high schools, in our middle schools, and the tentacles that go out go all the way into the elementary schools. And the more that we can do that, the more our children can understand what futures they can have with their interest, which is what education is supposed to be about. So I appreciate, and the board certainly supported having a person in your position, because all that requires time, and that means somebody has to have the time to do it. So I appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
We good? Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Dean, finance report, please.
Good evening, Madam Chair, school board members, Dr. Brads. Tonight's finance update, we'll begin with our revenues. Really, this is the big pie chart of all our total revenue of $119 million. The biggest piece is our state revenue, second is county, and the distant third is federal. Looking at our state revenue, specifically our average daily membership, you can see we're trending below our budget of 8,340 students. ADM peaked in December, I don't know if you recall from last meeting, and we predicted that it would continue to lower for the remainder of the year. And that has to do with our mid-year graduates. So right now, we're 83 members short, and that's $650,000. So on a total $119 million budget, that's 0.5%. So to flip it around, we're 99.5% of our revenue budget. So how do we combat this? How do we address the shortfall? Specifically, we see two pieces that's going to help us. We're trending better on our federal revenue, and then we're also doing a little better on our expenditures, specifically how we put our insurance package out to bid and change insurance providers. So I think we cut into this deficit and shortfall, so hopefully we're at 100%. Expenditures to date, this is 7 months as a reminder, $61.7 million for our school operating fund, which is 52%. I'll just say that's in line with prior year, which is good news. Food service, $2.5 million, or 54% of its total budget. It's trending a little higher, and we'll see that in a few slides from here. The school operating budget, again, is very consistent, 8 to 9% in all the months except for July. And again, that's our 10 and 11-month contract employees. So July, June will be the odd months in this trend. So we're right on par. We have $57.6 million left to spend, and we seem to be right on par with budget. This is just another view of how our expenditures are. We're actually doing a little better than last year, about 0.8%. Again, 51.7 this year versus 52.5 last year. So, food service, typically 10 to 11% per month. What's the odd months are when we that that's where January, you can see the 7% as well. So you can see a fall off a little bit on the expenditure side. Looking at the next slide, you'll see we are trending above last year. So again, it's like a broken record, but I like to say, you know, we're providing free breakfast and lunch, and our meals are actually up 6% year to date. So it's really volume driven that's causing our expenditures to be higher. Any questions?
Any comments, any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much for your presentation, Mr. Dean.
So we good? Thank you, Mr. Dean. All right, next up is Dr. Brads with the operations report.
Thank you, Mr. Dean. Okay, I'm going to attempt to fill in for Dr. O'Brien for the operations update. As you know, our operations department makes school happen. So, am I clicking? Yes, I'm clicking. All facilities, cleaning measures going on, a lot of work orders. If you didn't know it, that is a handheld flux capacitor. And we're trying to send the germs back to the future. Now, that's not an authorized statement that Dr. O'Brien shared, but I thought I'd make that up. I liked it. Okay. You know, when these giant bleachers kind of move or something, they actually have motors, so our guys have to replace those, and they do a fantastic job. I do not know that there is anything that our maintenance staff can't do. It's amazing, quite amazing. This is a new air compressor at the bus garage, and it's quite enormous because of the volume required for bus tires. So that's neat. As you know, in all of our school facilities and offices, we are consistently putting in the water bottle filling stations. This is a filtered water from the water source, and it also encourages our students and staff to use a refillable water rather than a disposable water bottle. And this one was just installed very recently, and the counter on it already had 58 bottles that were not sent to the landfill or recycling, if actually recycling happens, depending on your vendor. So anyway, you know how that works. Other maintenance, fire, division-wide fire extinguisher inspections. If you just kind of think about our spaces, our places, we have a few fire extinguishers, a few, like as in a lot. Salt and sand preparation, that has to do with, guess what? Inclement weather that we're about to experience again, as we have indicated by our weather announcement, and I'll stop there. Mr. Dean was talking about how we're doing with food service, and this is based on some days that we were missed compared to last year, but we're still doing quite well with respect to participation. But in terms of participation and being a part of CEP level of 25% free and reduced lunch per school, and enabling each school to receive free and reduced lunch. But the problem with the reimbursement, as Mr. Dean has said, it's a revenue problem. We shared this with the Finance Committee. We shared this with the full board. The revenue that's coming back for reimbursement, because as a district CEP, we're at 41.71%. For that to be where we were, I won't use the term profitable, but breaking even or slightly better, that CEP number needs to be closer to 65%. So we're not near that. But so we anticipate that USDA may change some of this going forward. We're monitoring it in terms of the first year of full CEP implementation. I fully expect us to be able to do full CEP in the next year's budget. That is not a budget obstacle that we have shared with the board in building FY26, but after 26, we may have to start looking at how we are going to, I'll use the word supplant, that revenue that's not coming in from the federal government if we are to continue this program, which is a great and valid program that we give our students free breakfast and free lunch every day. So we'll monitor this very closely, as Mr. Dean has shared with you. Technology, won't read all that to you, but a lot of work orders and important contract renewals that we shared with the Finance Committee this evening, and planning for part of our CIP project and moving forward with access points. Access points have a service life, and they can no longer receive software updates. It's not just the physical device. Access points meaning our wireless access points. So we have, I'll use a really technical term, tons of those, and so we have to replace those from time to time. So planning for that for this summer, and I think we're tackling Eastern View as that school is ready for updating access points, even though the school is not that old. Okay, and we're working on the CMS technology items as we proceed with that renovation, and excited about our bids coming in tomorrow. Transportation, charging stations as a part of our grant for the electric buses that we hope to receive the funding for the electric buses that is supposed to happen, but there could be some reshifting of priorities that may not happen, so we'll pay close attention to that. The charging stations have already been sent. We have charging stations available at the bus garage for 2 of the 4 buses in terms of where we can locate them. These 2 are going to be on the inner circle of the bus loop at CTEC eventually. That's the plan. And take advantage of the extra power that we're producing there with solar energy to charge buses at CTEC. And they will not impede the traffic, but again, they're only in the bus loop. So we're excited about that, and with clearance of all the funding, the vendor will be installing those later this spring, as you can see on the slide. Stop arm camera violations continue to be a problem. Again, remember the approval rate is that once it's verified by local law enforcement, that determines the approval rate of those citations. You can see here in November, December, and January. Approval rate is ticking up there in January, only 14 days of school and 256 violations. Almost half of those had an approval rate, so that would have been a civil violation, and those fines sent to those individuals. So it's still happening, still occurring, but we are very thankful that we have that safety feature for our students and our drivers and staff, for that matter, that they have that extra tool as they drive our school buses. So we're still working on that. Do I think it's a deterrent? Yes, but it's still, the driving public still needs to do a better job. We're not in the stop arm camera business to make money. We're in the stop arm business to protect our students and our drivers and our staff. Current routing, you can see there, morning ridership and afternoon ridership. We transport 3/4 of our kids and more in the afternoon, and it does sometimes fluctuate with respect to our fall, winter, and spring sports seasons, but that's just a quick snapshot of our routing situation. Other items, we have had, we anticipate a new assistant director in transportation, and we have added, with board approval, our new routing specialist already. And the director has started a program where she has breakfast with the director, and weekly drivers come in and have some time with the director to meet with them, talk about what concerns they may have. So very, very much open door policy with our new director working on that. So kudos to our director on that. And other Q&A events. Other items, partnering with Post High, Job Skills, cleaning our white fleet. That would be we refer to our school vehicles as white fleet. This one actually happens to be white, but not all of our school fleet is white. The non-school bus fleet, and I would say non-maintenance vehicles as well, because they may have equipment that are not conducive for students to work on. So we partner with Post High program there, and you can see that's our staff there, Ms. Crane, Ms. Bledsoe, and Dr. Binkert have been instrumental in getting that going with our transportation department, and that's been a very neat program. I'll be happy to answer any questions if I possibly can. Thank you.
Any board member comments?
I have a comment,
Yes, ma'am.
not a question, but I was behind a bus recently, and they were stopped. The stop arm camera went out, and then zooming by went a driver. And the bus driver was visibly upset, concerned for our students and her passengers. I think it was her, I didn't actually see. Honked the horn and, you know, then just made sure, kind of like called out to those kids, wait, 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 wait. So it's a shame that they have to be that vigilant, but also I'm very grateful that they are. It was pretty cool to watch, but frustrating to watch that driver zoom by.
Anyone else? All right, we are up to board member comments, and we will start with Mrs. Baker.
Just thank you to everyone for coming tonight, and great presentations, and everyone have a happy Valentine's Day.
Ms. Hutchins?
You're going the other way. I want to thank everyone for the appreciation gifts for this evening. It's very kind of you. I want to thank the Board of Supervisors for moving forward with the funding for our construction projects. I attended Aladdin at EV, and it was an amazing performance. I went on Friday night because I wasn't sure whether Saturday was going to make it, but the kids did a great job, having been on the stage that night for the first time. It still was, the kids did, and the crowd was huge. Attended All District Choir at CCHS on Friday as well. It was an excellent time with those students. Again, their time was cut short and the performance was amazing. Also participated in mock interviews at both schools, and it's always a joy to be with the students and get some feedback on and see how they are coming along with their goals as to where they want to be. Thank you.
Just want to say, as I always do, I'm just amazed by the staff and the programs that we have. I want to thank Mrs. Cockrell for her presentation tonight and the efforts made for our secondary students, but I also want to say thank you for the Emerald Hill presentation and the amazing things that are going on for our elementary students as well. Just overall, just very proud to be a part of this district. You guys do an awesome job. Thank you.
Mrs. Dessler? Ms. Burnett?
I just want to say thank you to the entire community for supporting all of our programs. And we see how tonight from our presentations, how they're an integral part of our programs and supporting us. And we couldn't do this without our entire community, the Board of Supervisors for funding. And I want to thank my colleagues for also attending professional development and attending the Capitol Conference, where we discussed what was on the docket and bills and the economic outlook, and also some awareness on fentanyl and the impact on school-aged children. If you have any more questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to us. We'd be happy to help you in any way, because our first and foremost goal is for the success of our children of this community. Thank you so much for everything you do.
Ms. Pearson?
Thank you. I would like to kind of echo what my colleagues are saying about thank you to the Board of Supervisors for voting to authorize the spending for our school construction projects. You know, investments in education benefit the entire community, not just, you know, public schools. It's an investment in everyone. I want to give a shout out to CCHS and Dr. Soderholm and Athletic Director Danny Knobs for hosting and recognizing the George Washington Carver Alumni Association with a great event where they invited the alumni in and had a reception in the library. Then we went down and watched the basketball games, and they introduced the alumni at halftime, and the kids had throwback uniforms that they wore representing Carver, and then there was a large picture of the state championship Carver Hawks basketball team that's now hanging down by the gym. So that was really quite a great event, Dr. Soderholm, and as I told you, many of the participants were just overwhelmed and very appreciative, so thank you for that. A couple more shout outs. Congratulations to the Spelling Bee winners. I am a terrible speller, and so I am always impressed with students and people who can spell well, because that is not a skill I possess. So, good job, and I know we had an outstanding open house at CTEC, and the mock interviews, again, that is a great thing to participate in. I always enjoy that. And Aladdin, having seen that on Broadway, it was great to also see it here in Culpeper. And some of the students are definitely on the way to having a good lead, perhaps on Broadway, and it played to a full house. So that was also very rewarding to see that. And thank you for these school board appreciation gifts. You know, the hard work is done at the schools and with the staff that make safe environments for our students every day and get our students to school every day. So thank you for these gifts. It's really quite overwhelming and very much appreciated. Thank you.
All right, the only thing I have to add is I agree with everything that has been said here this evening. And I would also like to say, I hope that the staff feels that the board appreciates them and supports them, because that's what our goal is. You all are the ones in the classroom with the children. We just get to wander by every once in a while and have them stare at us and wonder who we are. But on the whole, everything, this is an incredible place. And, you know, I know the finance department works very hard to try to be as frugal as possible, but you still got to run school, you still got to have buses, you still have to have food, and you still have to have adults to work with the children. So our appreciation to you all needs to be stated probably at least every few hours when you're in the building, because I know you probably need it about that time. So thank you again, and I will go through the list of items I am to report to you. The committee reports are accessible on our agenda and on the documents. Membership numbers are there. Employee Appreciation Week, the Technology Department is coming up in March. Capital Planning Committee is meeting February 12th at 8:30 at the school board office. Administration Committee meets at 8 o'clock at the school board at February 18th. Business Work Session is our next public meeting, February 24th. It's at Central Office. It starts at 6 o'clock. We will work on the budget more. The Finance Committee meeting will be March 10th at our next regular board meeting time, which is also March 10th at 6 o'clock. The Finance Committee meets at 5. Mrs. Hutchins, will you read us into closed session?
I move that the school board convene a closed session at 7:09 to consider the following personnel matters pursuant to the Code of Virginia 2.2-3711A1. The appointment of classified personnel, the transfer of certified personnel, the transfer of classified personnel, the approval of leave of absence for the 24-25 school year beginning on February 3rd, 2025, the separation of certified personnel, the separation of classified personnel, the approval of substitutes for the 2024-2025 school year, the approval of 2024-2025 spring coaching supplements for CCHS, the approval of 2024-2025 spring coaching supplements for EVHS, the approval of 2024-2025 spring coaching supplements for CMS and Floyd T. Benz Middle School, the approval of 2025-2026 fall coaching supplement for EVHS, and the discussion of student matters related to named student A religious exemption as permitted by the Code of Virginia 2.2-3711A2.
Do I hear a second? Second. Second from Ms. Smith. Any comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we are pausing until 5 minutes, which will be 7:15, where we will be in closed session. Thank you very much.